is currently the leading language for the donation incentive.
Not French text.
Well, I never said about the text. We can do French if we want, right? No, I'm just kidding.
But you have to reload the game for that to take effect, I believe.
Full reload?
But you can probably check.
Yeah, let me just do a quick check.
We also get to preload this, so.
Yeah. All right, say something.
No, you never says anything. Come on.
Look at it.
Okay. Yeah, you have to fully reset the game to do English.
Yeah, give me 1 second here so I can switch the audio to match the donation incentive. Excuse me. There we go.
Rocking that sweet VIII theme.
I have to. Okay. Yeah, apologies for the little hold up, just to switch the language here.
And so the start time is going to be when you press confirm on the easy, or when you press easy mode.
Okay. Ready whenever?
We're good.
Okay.
You good?
Yep.
Yep.
So someone want to count down?
3,
2, 1, go.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to RPG Limit Break 2018 and East 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. I'm After5. I'll be doing my best to showcase the run.
do you want to do a couch introduction?
Yep. Couch, want to introduce yourself, please?
I'm Colin BND0.
I'm Yogi the Master.
All right, so just to give my couch guys a little more credit than that. So Colin has been responsible for mostly finding a lot of the external tricks and skips. Yogi the Master over here, I like to call him Yogi the Madman because he's currently routing 100% for this game. Good luck, sir.
It's fun. I'm just saying.
Certainly going to be something.
And before we go a little too far into the run, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day out there. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. All right, so here we're on Lombardia. This is kind of just like the quick prologue intro. We have actually just come from the plot of East 5, which probably no one has played because there's no actual English translation official. It's Japan release only. And if anyone who's played other East games, we know what happens when Adal gets on a boat. He doesn't. It sinks. So here's the introductory fight. It kind of teaches you the basic mechanics of the game. Colin, Yogi, can you guys explain Flash Guard and Flash Move, the pretty core mechanics here?
Okay, so what you just saw there was Flash Move. You basically just, right before you're going to get hit by some kind of hitbox, you evade right before it, and it allows you to slow down time, and all your moves go faster, all the enemies move slower, and you do just go faster.
Okay, he gave me a slow on the third, so I'm going to go in on this. So I'm actually trying to gauge. So you see a red bar and a blue bar. The red bar is the HP, and the blue bar, which is now gold, is the break bar. So I was trying to kind of line up this break, so I have this perfect window of opportunity to get it clean, and that was very solid. That was a pretty solid kill. Just a little finicky thing is if you break him before that cutscene, you saw a little cutscene with another tutorial show up. If you break him just before that cutscene, he'll be invincible for a short amount of time. So I like to try and preserve my break precisely for just before. Also, shout out to Tsukibaka. Tsukibaka found out that wolf strat for us to save us a good 3 to 5 seconds on that intro wolves. We kind of just picked them off one at a time before, but if
you fade back a little bit, they'll all come towards you from the front. And then you just use a skill and then just hit them all.
All right,
it's
so
quite elegant.
So while I'm actually let me get to the next fight before I talk about movement. Movement in this game is actually pretty nice. So I'll try and give it a proper spotlight. So upcoming here is my favorite strat. I call it the double if I can pull it off. So there's one double, and there it is, the double. All right, like to kill both mobs in one hit. So we also just recruited our next party member, Laxia. She's going to be our primary movement character. So the characters in this game have not only do they have different weapon types and different attributes, but they also have different speeds and velocities. So Laxia just so happens to be the fastest one to access to in this particular set of people. So we'll be using her to move around a lot.
She's got one of the fastest. Our main form of movement is jumping and rolling, and that's just Laxia. You just get like almost immediately in the beginning of the game. And she just is one of the fastest movement options.
So you saw him touch like a purple crystal, and we'll use those a lot throughout the game because those are checkpoints and save points throughout the game that we'll use to teleport later on.
Okay, and so the town in this cave, I'm running around grabbing these chests and doing these basically just triggers. You can't move on. Like the game will be like, hey, you should go back and do this. And if you miss those things, the game will just remind you to go back and do them. So we haven't really found a way to skip them in a meaningful way. So we just take care of them. They're fast and simple and not too much of a problem. So we jumped to our first boss fight. I'm going to try and get the proper execution here with flash guards and flash moves.
Oh, I'll go ahead and just explain the flash guards there.
Yep.
If you press the guard button right before you get hit, it gives you a flash guard. And that allows you to do, it makes all your moves do crits, which is like 1.5 times damage.
Not bad.
And you come invincible.
Yep. So when you see the flash guard and flash move, they have little meters that are kind of scrolling down on your screen. Those meters indicate how much time you have to be invincible, and you can overlap and extend. So if you have a flash guard, you can extend your invincibility by flash guarding again while the flash guard meter is still up. Or you can kind of I guess baton pass the invincibility by doing a flash move instead. So the flash move timer will be up for you. So about movement, I know it's a lot of rolling. You guys will just see a lot of rolling. But the movement in this game is not just mash, roll, and jump. Elevation is very important for how you move. There are basically three kind of general situations for movement: uphill, level ground, and downhill, and kind of everything in between. So I will constantly be trying to compensate for how that works. Also, you want to talk about Avocado, Colin?
Sure. His name's not actually Avocado, but it's kind of our pet name for the boss. His actual name is Avila Draggle or something like that.
Avila Draggle, yeah.
It's a mouthful, and we hardly ever remember it. So we just end up calling him Avocado, just as a nickname.
In my early runs, I used to call him like 3 different names. Like, I'll get to the boss and I'll call him Avilo Draggle. I'll get to him again, I'll call him Avilo Dragolo, and I'll get to him a third time and I'll call him Avo Dragolo. So I just cited Avocado.
Okay, so here you need an item called an adventure gear, but you need these gloves to climb up these vines. But we use a glitch called switch canceling to basically gain infinite height and get up this vine earlier than what we should have. I guess I'll explain switch canceling right now.
Sure.
Basically, on the third attack of any aerial, or the third aerial attack for any character, there's a small window where the character will be going upwards. So if you switch and attack at the same time during that, we usually do that just by double binding the buttons to the same button. But if you do that, you'll continue on with aerial attacks, and with Sahad in our party, we actually gain height with that. And so, after defeating Avocado there, we were supposed to go back to town, and they'd send us out on the quest to get a character named Allison, but we don't need to do that, so we just keep going.
Yeah, so that Allison skip, so we normally used to get Allison, so we're on this route because we're trying to recruit a character early for increased battle potential for bosses, but we also normally got a character called Allison. So in this game, so right now, like kind of the objective after we crash landed on this island is we're trying to basically find who else survived the crash. And not only do these people that we recruit to our town have their own specific role, like the tailor, the blacksmith, the medic, but they also count towards the ability to move obstacles out of our way. So, like for example, there was an obstacle that requires like 5 people, right? So kind of like Pikmin in the sense where you need enough people to kind of get things out of the way. But we skipped that section, so we just decided to climb those vines instead. So the unfortunate side effect of skipping Allison is that Allison is actually very incredibly useful for interception. She has a full party heal and revive as a random trigger if she shows up. So interceptions got way more dangerous after we started skipping her. But
I guess we should explain what interceptions are.
Yeah, sure.
They call them raids in this new translation patch that they put out.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a bunch of waves of enemies that usually gets finished off with a boss for the final wave.
And it's supposed to be protecting the camp because they're like monsters invading the camp. So you and everybody who's back at the campgrounds are supposed to be protecting it as best as you can. So there's quite a few of them in the game that we run into. So,
but thankfully, we can skip most of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
there are a handful of interception skips, thankfully. A lot of them were eventually worked into the run. We, at the beginning when this run first started, we were doing all of them, but not anymore. So here we're going to come to the character that we've been trying to get early. His name is Humo. So you'll notice right now our party is only level 8, and Humo will be coming into our party at level 20, which is very, very significant. We're not going to add him to the party just yet because we're not fighting with him just for the moment, and we're going to be returning to town kind of out of order, which will automatically remove him from the party. So if we menu him in now, it's actually going to end up being a waste of time. So upcoming is Worm Skip, which is just another switch canceling trick. But Colin, do you want to kind of go over the history of how we've been evolving this trick to make it more consistent?
Sure thing. So we're going to be coming up to this like a ledge. Our goal is to get over this invisible wall back here. But the first iteration of this was just jumping from this small rock to the right here. But we found out that if the party member that you're going to be switching to is falling, they will always do a falling attack, just like that. But if you stand on that rock, the other party members will just have kind of dumb AI, and they'll just keep falling off that cliff, and you'll basically fail the trick. Oh yeah.
Oh. We did change it.
Just go to. I don't think you confirmed the menu. Just keep going and go to the autosave.
Okay, yeah, we have to do a hard load. I apologize for that. Didn't realize it was Japanese.
Yeah. But the second iteration of it, we went back to this little small crystal in order to like basically time it so that Sahad wouldn't be falling by the time you were switching to him. And that was only a little bit consistent. It tended to be a run ender for the early iterations. But we found that if you go to the ramp on the side, you still get enough height, and they'll never fall off, and they'll go down the ramp instead of falling off. And then you just hard reset there.
Yeah, let me do a hard reset. We're gonna have to reset the console in order for it to apply. Apologies, I didn't do it correctly the first time.
Well, thank you very much, After5. You mind if I take a moment here while you're going ahead and resetting?
Go for it.
Awesome. I wanted to get a couple of early donations in. First off, I'd like to start with Polly, someone who might be familiar to you, I heard, with the $20 donation that says, ding dong.
Oh my god. Hi, Polly.
It's my husband, After5, kicking off RPG Limit Break. What a champion he is. It's been awesome seeing you find your speedrunning wings, especially with such an amazing game. You're killing it. Love you, dude. Also, prediction?
Yeah, there we go.
And I also got a $10 donation from Mutsky. Shoutouts to my boy Yoki.
Hey.
There you go.
Looking forward to seeing all of you at RPG Limit Break tomorrow afternoon. Shoutouts to everyone running this gig for another year, and best of luck to all of the runners of RPGs, and also real speedrunning games like A Link to the Past randomizer in the practice room. Much love, Mutsky. Thank you very much.
Alright, so there we picked up a Blade Ring, or Blade Ring 2. Increases our strength by like 20 at this point, which we're pretty low level, so 20 strength is actually a lot.
Yeah, it's very significant. It's like more than 10% of our damage. So here we're coming back to town for the first time in a while. So normally we were supposed to come back to town much earlier, right actually after we got Sahad. But since we decided to do the Allison skip that we do, when we come back to town, it thinks that we're supposed to be a little further in the game because we've got Humel. So that's why you see like the NPCs in a weird spot. You might have also noticed the fact that Laxi has cloned herself. She's very good at that for some reason.
Yeah, there's just in this part of the story, you're supposed to have just Adol in the party, but you just have everybody and people are sitting on nothing. Just casual stuff.
And we have
Hi, Pearl.
duplicates. Oh gosh.
All right, so
So
after all of
basically, this is just an overload of two parts of the cutscenes.
Yeah. So a lot of this town stuff is just satisfying the triggers so we can get on to the rest of the game. So after this too, then we can go back to this checkpoint that we marked on our way during Allison's skip. Whoops, hold on. There was a cutscene first.
For that part, you just have to warp out anywhere, and they'll tell you to go do something.
Alright, so here I'm removing Humel's armor preemptively for an item we're going to need later while I equip the Blade Ring 2 just to make it a little more efficient menuing. Well, actually you can remove it at either point. I will explain that once we get the item for it.
The menuing is pretty modular here.
Yeah,
You
there's
can
a
just
lot.
kind of do it whenever.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to kind of get the same menu done at any time. Kind of just a matter of where you feel comfortable doing it, as long as you don't miss the window of opportunity, of course. In this case, the window of opportunity is we want Humel and the Blade Ring 2 on him in the party before we come to this next boss.
Now, do you want to get the revive items here?
Yeah, let's get the revive items for safety. So I'm gonna get a lot more safety food than normal, just because this is I don't want to completely throw runs. If I were to fall in a boss or interception, it would be like minutes of time lost. So here is another boss reference. He's very straightforward, and thanks to the power of Humel, you see that his health bar is just going to drop very, very, very quickly, and that's it. So that's why this is one of the bosses why we get early Humel, and the next upcoming boss also why we
Just
want
simply
early Humel.
having a level 20 party member in here, it just works wonders for these early bosses.
Yeah, it also does help that Humel's skill kit is just kind of inherently better than the other two at this point in the time as well.
Yep.
So here we get the gloves that we've been needing for before. We're going to equip them and use them because we're not going to hover up every set of finds.
Mr. Kristen.
Wow, these are some great gloves.
You can actually fall down that log.
Yeah,
The invisible walls aren't very high, and so you can kind of just fall and it loses a ton of time.
Yeah, when you want to run through that log, try and set up a straight camera angle so I don't have to deal with accidentally falling off the sides. So here is going to be coming up our first skipping of Interception. It's another switch cancel, but it uses kind of a different setup. Do either of you want to kind of talk about it really quick?
Sure. So for this part, they want you to go back to town and do some interception, but we don't do that. Basically, there's an invisible wall there, and it's slanted down, so we can just switch cancel to the corner of it and just get over it and go back and bounce later.
So that chest also very conveniently timed with our interception, our first interception skip. We got an item called the Red Cape. So the properties of the Red Cape is the lower your health is, the more damage you deal. So by saying that, I'm sure you guys can kind of just reason for yourselves why I removed Humel's armor. If I may just go ahead and say it, I like to call it naked Humel strats. Just taking more damage.
It's really helpful for just doing more damage.
All right, so this boss is pretty fixed. 1, 2, 3, 4, alt. And so this boss has 3 phases. He'll be on the log, he'll be underneath the log, and then he'll drop down.
On the
So
ground.
we drop him to 1 health. We can't actually defeat him until the 3rd phase, unfortunately. There's no way.
He just don't. He'll always do this no matter how much damage you do.
Yeah, it's just force. But we do, however, get to skip the really obnoxious upside down, and if he's on the ground, he also has like he's like a chameleon type boss, right? So he'll like hide,
go invisible.
Yeah, hide,
Shoot
run away.
acid.
So.
But you just poke him here and boss is done.
Yeah. That's also part of the reason why, like, you notice we won't like, I didn't use my ult on Serpentis, even though it could probably kill him right away. That's true, but then we wouldn't have our ult for Clarion to make this fight significantly faster. So instead of saving like 2 or 3 seconds on Serpentis, we decided to save, you know, a minute or 2 on Clarion. It's a much better usage of the ult. So here we're going to recruit our actual first character. Catherine in the previous translation, Kathleen after the new translation. I just call her Kathy, covers both. She's our blacksmith, and she is incredibly important. Immediately important, so the first side effect of our interception skip is that the game thinks that we're still in interception mode, so we're not actually allowed to teleport around the map. If I open my map, I can't teleport. But by doing this Catherine cutscene, Catherine comes after the interception, so we kind of force the plot of the game to skip forward and past that state of interception. So now with talking to Catherine and doing her tutorial, we've actually completed interception skip.
And basically during that, it just overloaded the interception cutscene that they wanted and the recruiting Catherine cutscene.
Yeah, you'll see in the top right corner that I still have the raid warning because I haven't completed it, but we're already beyond it and we're fine. So what I'm doing right now is a tower quest. This quest is important because it's the quest that unlocks the ability to upgrade the the defenses of our town for interceptions, because interceptions are basically a tower defense game. So if we don't do this, we do the highest level interception in the story, interception level 60. It's required for plot triggers. And if we did not have our gate upgraded to level 6, we just cannot beat it. The gate will just get slaughtered in 1 hit, and we would never be able to progress. So this quest is required in order to make it to interception 60. About I guess an hour later in the run, we'll be good to go.
And we fight that interception way lower level than what the recommended level is.
Yeah, we got plenty of strats for that to take care of it coming up too. So this is the final resource check for Tower Quest. We're gonna warp up to this save point that we made before we came back to town. Gonna put on the red cape here, and I'm going to start taking advantage of red cape strats. So flash moving and flash guarding increases your damage by a relatively fixed amount, but if you take advantage of red cape and just kind of let yourself basically get beat up, then you'll see my damage eventually just kind of slowly going up. So I started with 80s, I started with 70s, now I'm doing 80s. It'll become more apparent as I take more damage. So we kind of rely on boss aggression, and I very purposely don't dodge anything early on. Now we're doing 90s, right? And when I get to like a value of health that I feel is kind of safe, then I'll take the red cape damage that we've kind of developed, and then stack flash guard, flash move onto it for a humongous boost of damage. So this boss is about to enter the second phase, and I'm getting kind of low, so I need to start actually paying attention and not just eating red cape damage. So this is a little bit scary, but I'm going to try and pull it off correctly here.
Just remember, whenever you get hit, you can always use an excuse that it's just red cape strats.
Yeah, basically. So whenever I'm doing a run and something goes wrong, I'm like, yeah, I'm just doing red cape strats, no problem. All right, so this is the reason why I pick up the backup food, so female's still good to go. None of our other party members are actually any good here, so we just actually need female. Beating this fight with anyone else is like way slower. So
Yeah, this is after the point where you're supposed to get Humo.
yeah, so a little shaky on the fight, but that's all right. I just got a little bit too greedy with the red cape. I was so excited about building up my damage. I'm just like, oh, more damage, and then I died.
This room is always a hassle to go through without high brightness on.
Yeah. All right, so we're recruiting another member for the town. Her name is Dina. Dina is important because, well, she gives us an insect repellent to progress the story, the normal way. We could actually do without that. But the main purpose of Dina is that she is a resource trader.
If you saw there where you were inside the watchtower part, because we were supposed to talk to the doctor there earlier, So it just puts it out of the cutscene inside the actual object. So you actually have to just warp out of there.
Yeah, so we kind of timed that town visit in time with the fact that we know that when we go back to town and talk to Kiergaard, that the town is developed to the point where we're going to be stuck in that table. So we do all that town stuff right there to consolidate it, and it's so far the most efficient way that we've thought of to do it. So we're coming up here to Schlam Jungle. It's probably, I would say, the highlight of this game's movement options.
We switched to Humo there because no matter which enemy or which character you use, they always learn a skill, and we'll need to learn that skill eventually, anyways. And so we just get it out of the way doing it now.
Yeah, Humo will be skill grind a little bit for him. Before we talk about that, though, you want to talk about mud hovering for me?
Sure thing. So mud has like an interesting property where you can't actually jump out of it normally, and you're supposed to get like boots and stuff to walk on top of it. But basically, if you're outside of the mud and one of your party members, doesn't matter which one, if they're in the mud and you're not in the mud, you can actually switch and jump at the same time and just mash that. You'll see it here. But the game thinks that your party member's in the mud, and so you can always jump. And so you just smash the two, and it allows you to get infinite height and jump over walls. It's great.
So we go over loading scenes at a bunch of parts throughout this whole jungle instead of going through this crazy maze.
Yeah, so that particular skip we did just there, that hover, it takes us through the jungle out of order. It skips the like actually unbeatable mud sections. And so we're just gonna kind of force ourselves to the next boss, the next character, and then just a little bit more mud hovering here.
And if you see what he's doing, he's attacking twice or 3 times. That allows the allies to get into the mud before you start to hover. Because if you don't attack, you might land in the mud before they do, and that wastes a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, the attacks just fundamentally just make sure that our allies are in the mud before we start.
So we got another boss fight here. We just jump out of it.
Yeah, this is our first boss skip. Do either of you want to explain the effects of what happens when we skip bosses without killing them?
Sure thing. Basically, whenever you're in a boss fight, the game thinks you're in a boss fight until you finish another boss, or finish any boss fight. So there happens to be a boss fight in this area. So if you go into this area while the game thinks that you're in a boss, it'll throw you straight into it. And so we just lose for that because we just need to get to the cutscene as fast as possible.
Yeah, it just so happens that coincidentally that there is a quest with a boss fight on this particular map. So even though we don't have that quest activated or haven't done any of the prerequisites for that quest, the fact that that map has another boss fight or another instance fight, it will just automatically throw you into it. So that's just a side effect of that particular trick. However, we are going to take advantage of that in the future.
Yeah, we use that for a bunch of really important skips.
All right, so at this point in the game, Hummel has left our party. He's kind of a drifter. So we're gonna have to stock up Sahad as our backup attacker for like the next 25-30 minutes. So that's part of the reason why after I did Worm Skip, I grabbed a chest which had iron ores in it, and we grabbed that chest in the jungle that had salamandite hides in it. Then we took advantage of Dina right away to trade down to get all the materials we need to get this max upgrade right out the bat. So we don't have to wait for it at all. Also going to re-equip Sahad with the accessories that Hummel had, and then we're going to go ahead and begin this interception here. So to kind of preface interceptions, they are very strictly wave-based, and they are memorizable.
They have set spawn locations.
Yeah, like the spawn locations aren't like exactly like X,
they're not
Y
pixel
coordinate.
perfect or
Yeah, they got like a little zone of
Yeah,
possible
but the
spawning.
enemies and the spots that they are pretty common.
So
But since we upgraded Sahad's weapon all the way, he just annihilates everything.
So, After, do you have a minute here for a couple of donations?
yeah.
Awesome. While you're going ahead and slaughtering some monster there, I'd like to. Okay, we have a $10 donation from the Double Drop 118. Hey everyone, Double Drop here. Super excited for another RPG limit break. Wish I could be there in person to couch Foreside's FF1 run. But alas, real life is keeping me away. Sad face. Here's $10 to name the Black Mage in FF1 Gillis. May he have less than 140 HP at Chaos. Looking forward to finally seeing FF1 at PSP in a marathon. Thank you, Double Drop. And a $10 donation from Lefsler. Finally, I was able to donate. I know it's not much, but it feels great to be helping. All the best for you guys from Brazil. And I would just like to take a moment to thank a couple of people for helping us out with this event. First is the Yeti, a partner who has worked with RPG Limit Break every year. They have amazing t-shirts, several designs of many different games, along with other things like pins and such. Every year, I always make sure to at least buy a few, so I am definitely interested in that. Maybe that Barclays one, that looks kind of interesting. And if you are interested in any of the Yeti t-shirts, you can always go to theyeti, YETE.com/RPGLB. And I would like to thank another sponsor for the event, which is Twitch. Thank you, Twitch, for sponsoring RPG Limit Break. And After5, I have one quick question that kind of came up.
Yep.
Have you guys given a roll call on the couch yet?
Yes. So at the beginning.
Oh, awesome. Good luck getting some prep lanes.
Poor doggos.
He's attacking.
Okay, so in that previous wave, you might have saw that even though we had Sahad kind of upgraded to our maximum attacker, I did use Laxia on the flying enemies. So certain enemies have different weaknesses and resistances to the attack types. You might notice, if you look at my party, you'll see that they have 3 little icons next to them for 3 different attack types. So breaking an enemy before we go for the full-on damage can save some time because it removes their resistance to other weapons once you break them. So we will use the correct attack type if it's faster.
Yeah, Sahad doesn't do much damage against these flying enemies unless you break them.
Hey, Doggy.
But even on those like slug enemies, Sahad just does enough damage for those, and Adol doesn't do that much. So we just use Sahad for that one. And these walruses can actually be a little bit dangerous. If you go for the farther one first, the closer one might be able to get to your base, and they could actually defeat your gate there. And if they knock down your gate, it's instant game over.
Yeah, the walruses in this interception are actually very scary. When you saw those first 2 spawn, I handled that relatively well. But if you fail the dodges there, they smack you for about 200 each.
They just slap you around.
Yeah,
waste a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, and
there's not much danger in like dying to them. It's more of them just wasting all your time.
Well, I have.
And this last wave is a boss wave. The wave will just end once you beat them.
Yeah, so the problem with the baits around here is that the boss will actually get attracted to the baits and not us. I'm trying to land a flash move flash guard on him in order to whip off a really good EX. Here we go. And I missed the opportunity. I'm just going to go for it before we waste too much time. But normally you want to get a flash move flash guard on him and your ult here for this butcher the entire 40,000 health bar by itself. This isn't too bad of an alternative. It's better than letting him run around.
You just want him to notice him.
Yeah. I want to be noticed by Avocado Senpai.
Yeah.
So, optimally, when you're doing this interception, while you're memorizing and routing, sorry, Bowie, the correct order, you're also trying to make these baits fall, because the priority of aggro is the baits have more aggro than you, have more aggro than the gate. So if there are ever any baits up and around, Avocado will almost certainly go for them instead of you, which delays your flash move, flash guard strategy.
Hey, do you have a moment for a couple more donations?
Sure.
Awesome. Oops, sorry. We have a $66.66 donation from Tengu Gemini.
Oh, baby.
He says, congratulations on the sub-7 Lombardi. I hope you don't get more than 3 meatballs.
All right. Thanks, Tengu.
We got 2 meatballs, and now we got 3.
Delicious. And I guess I got one more for you.
Sure.
We have a $150 anonymous donation that says, mental health is important, So here's some money from my birthday. And as I know, after dealing with depression, it's important to accept help and get help. So have fun and get a lot of money. Thank you very much.
Boy, am I glad I ran into you kids. I thought I was all alone on the Isle of Seiren.
Sorry, give us a hot little spotlight there.
So this is the only blockaded place that we actually clear.
There's a bunch of them throughout the game, and you need so many people that you find on the island to clear them.
Yeah, there's like 24 total Lombardia passengers that we can get. We only get 9.
And we skip the rest.
Like we don't even get half of them.
Yeah.
But we're good with that, and the ship will set sail.
On the next screen, you'll see Allison, who we skipped before. She's still standing there.
Yeah. Everyone say hello to the ghost of Allison. Hi, Allison.
She's also still in the village, but.
All right, so here's one of my favorite strats, shark popcorn. So I like to try and group these guys up because they're kind of random. The easiest way is just to knock them up into the sky. So I just call it shark popcorn. It's the only thing I can think of to call the strat.
You learn a few skills in here too.
Yeah. So that was very quick, actually. They actually gave me just kind of like a really good RNG. Normally they kind of like dash about here and there, but sometimes they'll just collect on top of you, and you just kind of get the easy strategy without any effort. So to kind of give a little update on what we're kind of doing now. So while we were doing the interception, apparently one of our members of excuse me, I'm going the wrong way. One of our town members is actually a murderer, and he's been going around with murder threats and actually attacking our captain. So we're kind of trying to solve that mystery right now. It's kind of what's generally going on with the plot. And this is kind of timed well with the fact that Humel has left our party, so Humel kind of becomes like a suspicious entity.
Yeah, we basically have to investigate the suspects.
So just a couple of checks here to kind of progress the story in as necessary. So before we mentioned that we skip a handful of interceptions, but a handful of them are not skippable because of the fact that they are required for us to progress the plot. This is one of them, and the later one at 60 is the other one. And here we're going to go. So we discovered who the traitor is, Kiergaard, and we're going to go give him a piece of our mind.
So you got a little bit of running around here? Because I got quite a donation here to read for you.
Feel free.
Okay, this just seems appropriate, that's all. We got a this is going to be tough for me, by the way, a $250 donation from Gunarm Dine. Punarm, yeah, thank you very much. This one's a doozy. Punarm Dine here. Glad to be back at Limit Break this year. It's so awesome that we're starting off with a great Falcon title. What a great way to ease into the marathon and make sure there is never a dull moment.
Oh my gosh.
The music is so great, I want to hummeling along with it. During Maya, first play of this, I found it a bit sad that the game is infamous because of its original localization. But here's hoping Issa gets Karna for correcting it.
Oh god.
while the complainers should just relaxia bit.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how many more of these puns I can turn out as I sit in this ricotta chair. But it's a fact that more of this will be coming throughout the marathon, and I'm quite earnest and not Sarai about it.
Oh my gosh.
Though it's not all of this is a long one. Though it's not all of them get to be read, I can say I'm Mustafa gone too far. For this marathon, a Shayaho challenge, Rosencha, and anyone else willing to pun off in our donation comments, and I guess the only appropriate answer is you're on. So I hope you, Silas, I probably butchered that one, going at this week as we told to think of as many as we can. Good luck to all of our runners, and just remember that if you go to Dina at some restaurant here in Salt Lake City, you can get a baked potato until after 5, plus plus the portions are large. You may need a doggy bag. So Hugo runners, you can do it. Olga now, and be back with another donation later. Thank you, Punarm Dine.
Hey, Colin.
That was a doozy.
Colin, you want to take over? I'm going to go home. Oh my god.
We finished up Kierkegaard while that was happening. He's a pretty standard boss fight.
Yeah. So you may be wondering why we are now a not a doll.
The best character in the game.
Yes, the best character in the game. Her name is Donna. So the kind of the I guess the caveat maybe is the right word of this game is so Donna is like a I guess like a prophet, I guess is the right way to put it. She has visions of the future and to see what kind of future is coming to them. So she's actually in the past, and a doll is apparently able to have dreams of these visions that she has. So a doll is currently dreaming of the past.
They got some spirit link type thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and maneuver through this wind optimally.
So right now this isn't actually happening. It's all just a dream. As adults seeing it currently.
I forget how long this takes in the past. I swear it's like 500 or 1,000 years or so.
Yeah, it's quite a few
It's
years.
several thousand, I
like-
wanted to believe.
But
Nice start here. You can there's wind that like pushes you, but you can just jump over that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you anticipate it, then you can just start a little bit to the right, and then it'll push you to the left, and you'll be just fine.
usually if enemies attack us, we can get a flash guard off of it, and we're able to
Or flash move.
flash move.
And it helps you get just go faster through there.
Yeah, it gives you speed, and also the flash move also negates that wind completely, so you can kind of just run straight through it. It's nice to get it. It's a cute little time save. It's not super important, though.
It's kind of
So-
hard to predict when the little balls are gonna attack you.
Yeah, I don't know what those are, like chestnuts or something?
Yeah.
So now that we've seen like our first Donna dream, so Donna has the ability to plant what they call prayer trees, not player trees, but prayer trees.
Yeah.
And
Donna Appleseed.
Donna Appleseed. Thanks, Colin. And that has now opened up a route for us, for to kind of progress through the rest of the game. So our first time through here, we did not have a method to reach the northern side, I believe, of this area.
Correct.
But now we have the bridge to do so. At the same time, so we are coming up to Gendarm Mountain. Now, Gendarm Mountain is famous for a couple of things. One of those things is the great view, but the other thing is its infinite supply of giant meatballs rolling down the sides. I like to play a game whenever I'm streaming this game to count how many meatballs I'm going to eat on my way up. I'm also going to step this up a little bit this time. So for every meatball that I get hit by, it'll be $5 to Nami. If I get attacked by an ancient species, it'll be $10. And if I get knocked off the cliff by either of those, it'll be 20. So let's try to go for a high score, either a fast run or a high score.
Kind of poor RNG spawn for that.
Yeah, they were all kind of facing the bad way. So those guys have a shout attack. If you run into those, it'll just blast you backwards and you'll fall over. So
Yeah, their bark only hits in the front of them, so good RNG is basically having them face the other way.
So a lot that's about to come up now is he's about to be a lot of movement is really important here just because there's enemies, there's meatballs, and there's stuff falling, so there's constant good movement coming up now.
yeah, this is one of the sections where I say it really breaks up the fact that this game's movement is not just mashing, dash, and roll. It's very malleable and it's very adaptive. Every time you make a small mistake in your movement, you now have to like replan your movement for the particular section so you get done with it.
I like to call this freestyle movement.
Yeah, that's a good term for it.
You basically have to react to whatever movements you made. And any run will be different from the last, and you won't land in the same places that you did before. You just kind of have to react to whatever you do.
All right, here
All
we
right,
go.
so put in your guesses for how many meatballs he's going to get hit by.
I'm saying 3.
I'm gonna go with 2 because I'm feeling optimal today.
I'm feeling the 1 again, so...
Feeling the 1. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what we get. All right, first wave.
Though for you can actually
$20 almost.
Don't worry, there's still more.
There are plenty more where that came from. This is the major threat.
that bar can actually
$5.
There's one.
$10. $30. $35. All right.
So you can actually dodge through those. It's kind of precise, and not very reliable, but you can.
Yeah, there exists a method. I haven't figured it out. Just like
You have some invincibility frames while you're rolling.
yeah,
But it's kind of hard to time.
I don't actually know where the damaging collision is inside of those boulders, and it's just a hard time when an object is like moving perpendicular to you. So but the flash moves are a little bit a struggle to kind of get properly.
So here we've come across a shed, and there seems to be people that have been there. We'll just go and talk to a few things.
I mean, we're playing an RPG, so the first thing you do when you see a house is go in and take everything you can. So RPG instincts, right?
Okay, so up here, there's going to be a falling, like basically unstable ground. What you see is 100% safe. Even though the ground falls out under you, it's 100% safe. It gives all of us a heart attack every single time.
Yeah. We call after Colin coined it, we just now call it the heart attack jump. All right. I believe there is still one more wave of meatballs.
Yeah.
We are currently at 35 grand total.
And as you notice, there's we'll be coming up on something pretty cool here because there's a raid sign up in the right-hand corner. So what we're gonna do is initially we are supposed to face Avocado here, and then after we face Avocado, we go ahead and we're supposed to go back to the camp and go into another interception. Well, right here we're gonna switch cancel, and we're gonna just barely go over the cutscene so we can skip all that. Then we'll return and face Avocado, and we won't have to go back to the camp to do the initial interception, which will save a bunch of time.
Good, first try, thank God.
Nice.
All right.
And that's probably the hardest trick, I would have to say.
Yeah, so to kind of highlight again the switch canceling in this game. So this game doesn't have any of your very impressive, frame perfect, pixel perfect tricks, but this game demands a lot of consistency out of you. You have to do a switch cancel can be 6 or 7 sets, and you have to do every single set flawlessly. Otherwise,
if you mess up
drop.
any of those, you drop the whole thing.
Yeah, and then you have to start over again to another 6 or 7. So if you fail, then you automatically have to add another 6 or 7 consistent inputs on top of what you have already done. The pressure builds up pretty quickly, especially when you're trying to do like a PB attempt. But it's something a little practice can't learn you.
So I guess I'll explain why we do this skip.
Yep.
We're going to be coming back to that boss fight, but in order to...
Okay, hold on. That's the last wave of meatballs, so I owe $35 to Nami now. Thanks for playing along, everyone.
do you want to get the mango here?
Yes, I'm getting the mango.
But basically, the reason Avocado is still around is because we're not actually defeating him. Our weapons are too weak, and we need this fabled material orichalcum to actually defeat ancient species, or else they just keep on reviving.
So that's why, like, all these dinosaurs we run past, like, you see them and you're like, oh, where, but we can't, our weapons do nothing to them, so in this part of the game, you're supposed to just run through them anyway.
And interestingly enough, simply having the orichalcum weapons, we can get over, like, cutscenes and all this, and get orichalcum weapons for one of the characters, but the fact is that simply having that weapon doesn't actually allow you to kill them. It's an actual cutscene that you have to watch in order for them to actually be able to be killed.
Yeah, it's the cutscene that activates the potency of the weapon. They'll do the right damage, but they won't have the side effect.
The cutscene that actually gives it to us is the suppression that happens after fighting Avocado here.
So yeah, here we're coming back to the boss. We skipped the boss, not to skip the boss. We skipped the interception, as Mr. Wood mentioned. So now we're just trying to take care of this guy again as quickly as possible. He's the same fight, just a little bit harder every single time. Try and just execute optimal damage if we can.
Well, yeah, we fight this guy more than anything else in the run.
Yeah, he's basically E-State's Ridley, more or less.
I believe in this iteration of him, he gets this fireball attack, and that's the only thing different.
Yeah.
He gets some charge attack, some side attack.
Okay, we'll go there.
But we hardly ever see those. Mostly just a fireball. That's new.
So I was trying to save my flash move, flash guarding, to get a really good ult to finish him off. Because when he starts to do that fireball phase, he starts to like move around a lot. He's very active. So we try and save it for when he starts it, so we can skip the times where he's very active and hard. And we just have to chase him around a lot. So we try and just top him off. All right. So before I get going, I'm going to put Rakota in the party. And then we're going to warp out to activate, any sort of cutscene. And then actually go to the Orhalcum that we were talking about.
We hit this save point before, just so we could come back to it here and save a bit of time.
Yep. So the reason why I need Rakota in the party is, we talked briefly about the attack types before, but not really about too much about the special effects of them. So in this game, if you have all 3 different attack types in your party, you will get a 10% increase to your drop rate for materials. But if you have 2 members of the same type, then it will increase the damage of that type by 10%. So we need that in order to kind of cut off some attacks that we need. So we're going to be doing the two most RNG heavy splits in the speed run, and we want to try and maximize our win conditions and minimize the RNG if possible. So that's why we're trying to do as much as we can to make Sahad as useful as possible.
And this bridge right here, before we could get across, we had to use people from the camp to go ahead and build it. So that's another one of the points where we have to ask the people to go ahead and build it and help us.
I guess it's the second one. That one's not buildable until you get Rakata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're on the way to get the Orichalcum weapons now. After that, Catherine will want us to... Well, she'll start to work on the weapons, and then we'll have to do some...
Excuse me.
a hunt to basically pass the time for some reason.
Well, do you have a moment here, After5?
Sure.
Awesome. First I'd like to read out a $100 anonymous donation. Thank you very much. Good luck to all the runners this week. Shout outs to the crew for getting everything up and running smoothly. And a $10 donation from Anonymous. It says, gotta donate to have the runner be fighting Emil in Nier Automata, because that's my name. Good luck to everyone on their runs, and looking forward to an incredible and awesome week. And I just wanted to take a moment to go ahead and plug. Up next is Nier Automata by It's Casa. And there is one donation incentive that still needs to be met. It's the fight the Emil.
Forgot to get the... forgot to talk to the Orichalcum.
Did I?
Yeah. Just go work back there.
Oopsies.
Yeah, it's...
But yeah, we got the incentive to fight Emil. It's currently at $310.66 out of 500. So that run is coming up next if you're interested in seeing that Emil fight. And I would also take a moment to plug the prizes coming up. During this run, if you donate at least $5, you will get an East 8 acrylic bookend set. And during the entire marathon, we're nice and early. There's a lot of time. You just don't have to run out and do it, but you got time. If you donate a cumulative amount of $75 through the entire event, you'll have a chance to win a new Nintendo Switch, complete with Disgaea 5 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
So what's going on here is it suppression they call it?
Basically, your goal is to hit a bunch of nests and clear them all out.
And the way for them to go down is you gotta light these torches, which weaken them. If you don't light the torches, then they're pretty tough to kill. I don't know if their health actually goes down. So
you just do normal damage if you don't light the torches.
Yeah, it's like 50 damage per hit instead of 1,800 or 2,000.
So what happens is it looks just like the raid, and we have waves. But what actually happens is after so long, the boss will appear, and hopefully, if we already have all the nests destroyed, we can go straight for the boss and end it sooner than later. But if you don't start attacking the boss and kill him sooner, he will run away, and that can be somewhat of a time waste. But we just have to catch him off guard.
Yeah, so here I'm just trying to do optimal nest order, kill these things in the fastest possible order to get the boss to spawn in the first place. So it's a little finicky. So far it's been pretty well executed, except for that little big oak right there. Here comes the last nest right here. We're gonna light this torch, jump on over. And the boss spawn location is complete RNG. You can get them in the worst possible locations. Let's see what kind of RNG we get.
Oh yeah, this is
This is not bad. Yep, we got him stuck between 2 torches. No, this is good. We got 2 torches. So I'm
the
gonna
worst
try.
is that like if he's at the top of that vine.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and keep him knocked down by going back and forth by lighting these torches. That should prevent him from running away. And then now that I've got him to the 2 torches, I'm going to try and use my own, because Sahai's attack naturally has a knockup property. I'm going to try and knock up this boss and stay underneath it to prevent it from landing and running away, if possible. So I got him knocked down, but I didn't get underneath him. He's very close to dead though. All right, he did not run away. That's very good. That's actually only happens about 20% of the time, so that was actually fantastic.
If you're slow in this suppression, he'll run away, and you have to wait for the next wave to do it. It just wastes a whole ton of time.
All right, so we also did not use our EX steal. Some of you might be wondering, why did we not use our EX steal to do a ton of damage to save time here? So one of the properties of our interception skip that we do in Gendarm is that it allows us to just go straight to the next boss. So we would rather save the EX for that boss instead of have to use the bed in town to restore it, because it wastes about 20 seconds. So we're coming up on the very famous Geas burn. Do you want to explain early kill Geas burn while I try and execute it?
Sure thing. Basically, in this fight, the boss has basically 2 phases. For this, you basically...
Place his claws on the ledge, and it gives you a lot of time for flash move, flash guards, and he follows up with another one and then a swipe. In between these flies are fixed, these flies are guaranteed. They kind of determine how close you are to the time where he's going through the cutoff for early kill, basically. So he'll do these a couple times. But it's the attacks in between those flights that we're trying to hope for the good luck here. So, instant fly. So this is probably not going to be early kill DS burn, just instantly fly away. So unfortunate, but it's just one of the RNG aspects of the game. So I'm still going to try and execute it properly. One of the win conditions for early kill DS burn, if you get the right RNG, is to land this EX properly. And positioning. So I got good positioning. So you see I'm doing 170s and 300 plus. That's the good damage you want to see. If you place the EX incorrectly, it'll hit like his leg and not his weak point. And you only do like 100s and 200s, which is not enough to get early kill. So even if you get the good RNG, most of the time, if you don't get the right alt placement, then you're just not going to get the early kill. So this right here is the cutoff. Now he's going to do what we wanted to skip. This is just about a 40-second window of just you cannot do anything to the boss.
He'll shoot some fireballs at you. You don't have to dodge them.
Yeah, you can't really attack him, hurt him. You just got to wait for him to come back and start trying to attack you again.
Yeah, the only sort of way we can slightly optimize this is I will get hit on purpose because we are still wearing the red cape. So we're going to take this free damage so that when Geas burn becomes vulnerable once more, we can just go ahead and attack with much stronger power than as we would without taking this damage.
You basically don't want to evade through these fireballs. It just makes the fireball section go on longer.
Yeah, a flash move slows down time. So there are actually times where flash moving is bad for you because you don't want to slow down time in a way that will reduce what you want to take care of.
In this game, when you get knocked down, you can basically attack and get up early. So, and if you do that while you're in the fireballs, you'll always evade or flash move.
Yep.
And that just wastes time. So once we get up here, we get Hummel again. We won't use him for a while, since we don't actually fight anything for a while.
Yeah, it's actually when we exit the bottom of Gendarm, but yeah, he's coming back very soon.
No, we get him right here.
Is it?
Yeah, this cutscene.
Yeah, that cutscene is when you get him.
It's just we never need him until like.
Okay, I always menued him at the bottom once we.
Yeah,
leave.
no, we don't. We get him up at the top, but we just don't need him until we get to the bottom of the mountain.
Okay. High Spirits, if you don't have anything to donate, donations or plugs, I will go ahead and do some more commentary. But
Oh, sure. I got one here. We can do a little talking. Sure.
Yeah, this is a really long walking section.
Awesome. I have a slightly long one that I can read then. I have a $10.24 donation from Leonia19, donating in memory of my childhood friend Lena for her birthday. Although it's been 12 years since her passing, I didn't find out it was due to suicide until 2017. I still remember the last conversation Lena and I had in the spring of 2006 about her brother's upcoming birthday and what she was going to do after graduating from college. As someone who struggled with depression and thoughts of suicide, it never occurred to me that someone who was close to me, someone who was intelligent and kind, would also be having mental health issues. I don't think myself to be mentally strong. Yeah, I would give up what has let me see life through each and every day to have Lena here and her family and her friends. This donation goes towards naming Luca and Chrono Trigger Lena. Thank you very much for that, Leonia. And yes, that is why we are here. We are here trying to raise money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI is a grassroots program that was formed about 1979 by a group of parents whose children suffered from serious mental illness. And that's been NAMI's focus to this day, and we are proud to be working with them. NAMI is dedicated to try to help mental health through various forms such as education and support, awareness, and even advocacy, just going out there and spreading the word. And that's what we're here. We're raising money, spreading the word, and having some fun at the same time. So thank you very much, and we appreciate anything that you do donate, that you can donate.
If you saw it before, we made a slight detour for an item called the Red Glove. That item gives us an inherent burn, it allows our moves to do burn damage, and burn in easy mode is incredibly busted, and we'll use it later on in the run.
Yeah, I will cover burn when it becomes a little more relevant, but it's beautiful. That's all I'll say about it. That's not Hemo. That's Hemo.
But it's incredibly fortunate that we get that on the actual route, and it's only such a small detour.
Time is frozen in here.
So right here, we're jumping over cutscene. Basically, for this, we're trying to skip a cutscene because that'll spawn other triggers farther down along the path. But we'll come back to that.
Yeah, so these two crystals lead to different Dana sections, and we do them out of order. Doing them out of order skips cutscenes. It also skips, once we enter this jungle area here, Rakota will end up getting, she gets
Kidnapped?
Kidnapped, yeah. So we have to go and rescue her, which is a whole nother sequence of events. So we completely scratch out the Rakota rescue sequence, and then save all the little time that we saved having to skip like 6 or 7 cutscenes. I think doing it out of order ends up saving us net about 1.5 minutes. It's not a super impressive time save, but we'll take what we can get. As for these two Dana sections that we're about to be doing, the first one, or the one I'm coming up to soon here, it's necessary for plot progression, for the triggers to be in line for us to actually let the plot move on to reach the actual endgame. And the other one that we just skipped, that's the one where Dana receives an upgrade to her weapon. A little bit of a spoiler for the end of the run, but it's not going to be our party of 3 here that's going to be defeating the final boss. We're going to be setting up so that Dana will be soloing the final boss. So we need as much power as we can get on Dana.
Basically, the weapon she has right now only has about 100 attacks or strength. But the Edelsphere that we get from that cutscene is 157, I believe.
Yeah, 157. We're at like 101, and it goes up to 157.
But that 50 strength increase will be very important when we get into it later.
So you got time for me to read a few more here?
Yeah.
Sure.
Get us caught up a little bit? Awesome.
Yeah.
I got a $20 donation from Above Up that says, this donation's burning a big hole in my wallet, but well worth it. Also, please play it during the speed run. I'm working and I want to watch it later. We have a $100 donation from Jeannot, someone who is a good friend and helper to RPG Limit Break. Yeah, Jeannot! Just a little appreciation. Once again, thanks for letting me be a part of this awesome event. Love all you guys. See you next year. We got a $10 donation from Linalia, throwing money at the virtual highlight incentive, the 101%. That game's always been fascinating to me. Good luck to all of the runners. And obviously, anything that gives us more virtual highlight is good for no one. I mean, everyone. And a $25 donation from Anonymous. It says, hope that RPG Limit Break 2018 meets and exceeds the goals for the event.
All right, so these are the Donna sections. Keep going if you have more.
Sure, I can keep going here. How about a $35 donation from Schlottenheim? I probably messed that one up. That just literally says, shout outs to Meatballs. We got a $75 donation from Sharky. This event is amazing, and Nami is a wonderful cause. Let's get this week started right. I agree, we should. A $5 donation from Anonymous, the best donator ever. Hey guys, first I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Hi, Mom. And second, I'm putting this towards Iris being the picture at the end of Final Fantasy 15, just to mess with Kios, the one who is running a Final Fantasy 15 later in the marathon. And, more virtual highlight, why not? Nemo2342 gave a $25 donation that says, looking forward to another great year of RPG Limit Break. Can't wait to see Virtual Highlight in all of its 5 FPS glory. And sure, I'll give you one more here.
Sure.
$75 anonymous donation. I love watching RPG Limit Break. Always gets me excited for new games to play casually and speedrunnily. Looking forward to the next week. I'll definitely be watching at work and while sleeping. My donation goes to saving the... Oh, ho, ho. That's the wrong marathon.
So something not necessarily directly related to any of our speedrun strats here, but something that I really enjoy about this speedrun in particular is I feel like the OST is paced really well in time with kind of the way we skip and kind of like the action and the calm. We get like a good balance. Part of the reason why this game is so enjoyable, this speedrun, is just that it's such a, I don't know, it's a very lively experience all throughout. It doesn't really ever feel static, at least to me anyway.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So this Donna section is fairly short. It saves us about 4 minutes in the final boss or so.
Yep. If we do not do this, then we lose 4 minutes to having lower damage. So of course we would do about a 1.5 minute section instead of lose 4 minutes.
So after this section, we're going to be doing a lot of glitching. This is when after this section is when the run becomes incredibly broken. Yeah,
we're starting to reach the real meat of the run. I'd say the upcoming sections are pretty much the reason why I've stuck to this run. Once I saw the strategies in the first video that I watched at Any% back in the day, when Any%'s best time was at 2:14, I saw these tricks and I was like, yes, this is the one. So let's get started with our shenanigans. Do you want to kind of cycle through everything I'm about to do, and especially the fact that pointing out that we're doing instant state again?
Yep. So if you remember from the when we fought Master Kong in the second boss in this jungle, it threw us directly into a boss fight. Well, we're gonna do the same thing, and we're gonna go into this tree boss and then jump out of it, so that the game still thinks we're in a boss fight, and we're gonna go do a Donna section, since we can go revisit that. And we're gonna go get the second form of Donna. Then that allows us to a lot of glitches. So right here, there's actually a cutscene trigger right under there, and we just jump right over it using the few jump attacks and skill.
Yeah, so we are technically illegally entering Eternia at this point.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, so the game also thinks we're not supposed to be here as well, so the town is not properly loaded. We're going to take advantage of that in several ways, but I will cover the main one when we get there. So we mentioned the other forms of Donna. So you know with the adult party that we have 3 people and 3 different attack types. So in order for Donna to kind of compensate for that, instead of having 3 party members, she just has 3 forms: Slash, Strike, and Pierce. So the actual type of form that we're getting is actually irrelevant to our purposes, but simply having another type gives us access to everything that we need. So we're coming up to that here. So I skipped that boss in Schlam, and I came over here. If I did not skip the boss, I would not get the trigger for this coming up right here. So This is us actually using the instant storage to not get Donna killed by a monkey, but to actually benefit our speed run. So this, I'm just running around checking the resources, just kind of like good luck. I've only gotten commons, common items, and nope, all common. All right, this is just a commoner's speed run.
It's a fortune-telling
Yeah.
boss fight. This boss fight is timed. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, because you don't do any damage, and so this is where we'll end up getting the second form of Donna, which is pretty much like a power-heavy form of her, which is
She's like got a hammer and she's slower.
very, very slow.
Okay, my favorite sport is to get him stuck in the tree. We didn't do it very much, but you can get him stuck between the tree and the rock. All right, so this is the reason why we need a second form of Donna.
Yep, if you have 2 forms, you can just infinite jump anywhere.
All right, I'm gonna grab this backup food over here as well. Marathon safety. All right. Come to me. I can't grab it, Colin.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
I think the dinosaur is trying to come
Hardest
for you.
strat in the game.
Phew, done.
But we just need the Graticup version so we can get infinite jumping.
We
and
won't get the third version, sadly.
Yeah.
and now that we can go anywhere, we go through a certain door that doesn't have a door loaded on it.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a little bit of shenanigans upcoming here.
So in this past version of this town, there's a door that only that you're not supposed to be able to get to, since it's only available in the future. But since this town isn't loaded, the door in front of it isn't loaded, so we can just waltz right through it. And this door is certainly special.
Yeah. So this map here is a map that technically only a doll party in the future can ever reach. So as a side effect, we have now time traveled to the future about 1,500 or so years, and we have now brought Donna from the past to the future.
And since the game still thinks we're in a boss fight, so in order to get rid of that, since the route we take has another boss fight, and if we go to that, it messes everything up.
Yep.
So we go in here and just finish this quickly, so just to get out of that state.
Yeah, so because we did not clear the dinosaur either, we have to find a way to get rid of that instant state. Otherwise, it'll carry a needlessly long amount of time.
But now that we're in the future with Donna and we have infinite jumping, we can go anywhere.
Yeah, so this allows us to progress the story of the future, because Donna's past stuff is,
All the story.
in a lot of ways, more just side questing. So the real story progression mostly happens in the future. So by giving us the ability to have Donna and the ability to gain infinite height anywhere now, it allows us to have maximum control over everything that we can potentially skip. Now this door over here is only openable by Donna. It can only be opened by Eternians, which is, Donna is an Eternian, not a human.
Except she can't open this door.
Yeah, she can't open this one though. She only has one door. After one door, she's out of magic. So we got to do it our way.
We got to go out of bounds.
And then we just load into the door from the other side, and we just pop out again.
Boom. Yep.
Otherwise, the map would not be properly loaded, and we would not have the next, the next map transitions. So here are basically our objective here, is to push the story as far as possible. When we entered this Donna section, we were in chapter 4. By the time we come out of this, we're going to immediately be in chapter 6, which is the final chapter. So we skipped kind of everything in between, just to sort of give you guys, I guess, a spoiler-free rendition of what we skipped. We skip 2 to 3 entire dungeons and an entire boss fight, like a huge boss fight.
We skipped 3 and then we just skipped to the end of this one.
Yeah.
So 4 whole dungeons that both have like 2 bosses each. Skip all the way past that.
Yeah, basically without the Donna mashing that we have available to us, this run would probably be over 3 hours easily.
I'm always impressed at how fast you can mash this stuff.
I practiced a lot. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you actually have to stay above the mud. You have to stay above the mud. Or, okay, so I just want to explain really quick. So if you were ever like fall off a ledge or like fall off Gendarm and reach terminal velocity, and you'll kind of hit like that kill box, That kill box can happen anywhere, anytime. I don't know why.
You can be rolling off the edge and like randomly enter the kill zone.
Yeah, so that's just a cute little side effect of just the game's physics, I guess.
Yeah.
It happens every so now and again, and it always entertains me when it happens, because it always happens at the worst possible time. All right, so
You know something that's a good time? Do you have time for a couple donations real quick?
Sure,
Or are you
yep,
busy?
just moving for a while.
Okay, awesome.
Just a few.
Sure, I think we can come up with a few.
Yeah.
How about a $75 donation from Lord of the Hyphens? Emil doesn't get enough love in the game, so here's a donation to help him get at least a little bit of screen time with our murderous Yara androids. So that actually finishes the donation incentive for Fight Emil in our next upcoming game. So thank you very much. Someone in the back in the audience, yeah,
Go.
that might appreciate this one. A $50 donation from Tina Hacks. Did someone say virtual highlight? Oh, I have to get on and I mean, gifting that experience to the RPG Limit Break viewers. Thank you very much, Tina. And a $20 donation from Ghost King.
Ooh, hey, Ghost King.
Shout out to Ghost King.
What's up after 5? Sad I can't make it there to support the East crew in person this time due to personal engagements, but I'll see you all there later in the week. Looking forward to a great week with my favorite marathon. P.S. After 5, I have a joke you might appreciate.
Oh, God. Bring it.
Why do vegetarians have good taste?
Why?
Because they refuse to touch sow.
I hate you, Ghost King.
$20 going to name the custom Robo Hero Poke Hero because Poke Hero is going to be there one way or another.
Okay, so this dungeon you were supposed to get a whole bunch of stuff, fight a whole sub boss, get a bell that allows you to kill the undead. We skip all past that.
Yeah, if anyone knows anything about the East Origin speedrun, how that kind of goes down, we play a little bit of East Origin HD right there, and we don't care about doors.
We basically just go out of bounds, hit the loading zone. So this is the latest point of the story we can jump back in once we have infinite jumps. So we go ahead and hit that. The game still thinks we're at the Valley of Kings, but once we go back to the future, it sends us back to where we originally went to the past, and so we triggered the interception for here.
Yeah, so everything kind of just gets caught up immediately right there. We kind of go from the future back to the future. It's a little bit strange, but it works, so we're not complaining. So here I'm trying to set up for Interception 60. We are now primed to do Interception 60. So there's a little bit of setup that we need. The first one is we need Humel to learn one of his best skills. It's absolutely mandatory. There it is, Firecracker. So we're going to equip that really quick, and we're going to return back to town. So a lot of the reason why I don't re-gear Humel when he first joins us again at the end of Gendarm is because I want him to do low damage. I don't want him to apply any status effects just yet. And here is like Dina's most important usage here. So we're going to trade down. While we were in the Valley of Kings with Donna, her materials actually transfer over to Adult Party. And we
picked up 2 chests, which we can trade down for all the materials we need to upgrade the village gate to level 5 or 6, depending.
6. It must be 6. 5 actually does not work. I've tried 5.
Yeah, because these guys are level 60, so if we leave it at level 1, it'll just get destroyed instantly. So we have to upgrade it to where they won't just destroy it immediately, because this interception's it can be scary in a run, because they're just way stronger than us, and we have to be careful and take caution.
Yeah, at this point we are level 34, jumping in at level 60 Interception, where the enemies are...
Yeah, we're like mid-30s. The recommended level for this is 60. So we have to rely on using the red glove that we got on the way down from Gendarm. So statuses in this game are like really busted on easy mode. Not so much on the other difficulties, but on easy mode, you can use Firecracker in the red glove to burn a lot of enemies, and that just like completely annihilates all their health. So for on these bigger monsters that we'll end up fighting in here, you'll see just how fast their health goes down once they get burned. So for this, he's going for the bees. You'd kind of think that the raptors over here would be what determines spawns, but it's actually the bees that progress the waves.
Yeah, we gotta focus the bees first in order to make sure that the waves kind of keep up. Now these dinosaurs do also affect the waves, but they don't. They're
not the limiter.
Yeah, they're kind of like their wave trigger is like later. Like if the
Yeah.
bees control wave 2, these guys control wave 3. So we kill the bees first. So this giant bird here is going to be the first application where you guys can see just how powerful burn strats are. However, I'm gonna wait for an optimal mob here. So I'm going to be toggling often between offensive and defensive mode just to make sure that the enemies will kind of come to the gate. This is part of the reason why we need the gate at level 6. We do very much use it as kind of like our kind of like our little hub where we want everything to gather here so I can get solid AoE with the firecracker skill that we learned. We want to kill everything at the same time, not everything one by one. So there's the burn. You can see his health ticking down. That damage that we just ticked down is probably about 30 seconds worth of damage. Burn strats are incredibly powerful. And like these guys here, once they close up their shells, you can't do damage to them. But if I can apply a burn to them, the burn will tick regardless of whether or not they are open or closed. So there's a burn on that one. There's a burn on that one. Taking some petty damage, so I'm going to heal.
And they just go down like super quickly. You don't even have to attack them anymore once you get burned.
They're just done. So that used to be one of the biggest bottlenecks for the run. So prior to using burn strats, we would actually go around and gather potions and bottles, and we would do a quest prior to Interception 60 that allows us to craft a potion that gives us a free EX stage, so we can just use our ults as often as possible. Now, the problem with that is, well, one, there's a lot of setup, and it's very slow. We have to do a side quest, and then on top of that, EXs, the longer the game goes on, the more EXs lose their value in terms of a viable DPS option. They're good for the burst, and they're kind of our only option when it comes to handling those closed shell guys. And it's also our option for immediately taking down the boss without any risk. But outside of that, they're really, really bad. So you won't ever see me using an EX pretty much ever again after like the midpoint. After Geosperm, you just don't use EXs anymore. So I'm going to try and... these bees can run away from you and head to the gate. So I try to stand in an optimal spot where no matter what they do, they can't get past me. So and then the next wave of bees is going to be really tight as well.
So in this wave, there's going to be a bunch of large enemies. He's going to be using he's going to be basically using skills to tank damage. So in this game, there's skills to basically decrease damage based on how much the skill costs. And Firecracker right now is it's a base 40 cost skill, and that in easy mode it decreases the damage you take by about 90%. And since the enemies you're facing are level 60, you basically never want to get hit unless you're using a skill.
All right, so here I'm gonna try and actually get my health lower because you're not actually able to kill these guys before, excuse me, you're not allowed to apply burn to these guys before you kill them because their health is just too low. So we will try and once again utilize the red cage strategy. Just take some intentional damage, kind of rock out at about the halfway health point, just so we can get a significant increase in our damage, and it actually leads to, because Firecracker is a slow skill, right? So if we can reduce the number of Firecrackers that we need, that's a little bit too much damage, but you'll see now I'm doing over 1,000 with my Firecrackers instead of the original base 700 or so. I should also mention that based on your performance, you also get automatic health and SP regen during interceptions. You see I'm at Superb, so now I'm going to be gaining a lot of health back. That's part of the reason why I just go ahead and let myself take a lot of damage. I lean on having good performance to have my health regen kick in. And I also try and kind of, work with that health regen to reduce my health again to make sure that I'm keeping my red cape up at a level that I feel comfortable executing at.
Yeah, this interception is actually pretty scary. You can easily die in here, and the routes we usually take only get a few safety fruits for revive items. So
Yeah.
you can easily lose runs to this.
So here's the big spawn. This is the all right. So this is the reason why we have revive items. I'm gonna go with the mangoes this time to save enough health. So they're right there. Normally I don't get backup food in an actual PB attempt, so like that would have been a run ender right there. The run would have just been over. So it's very easy to just completely sacrifice a run to try and clear it fast. I do sort of enjoy that risk-reward aspect of the late game because we are severely underleveled and we do very insignificant amounts of damage without the red cape. So we try and take the risk-reward strategy of saving a lot of time. Like so recently, before I adopted playing dangerously on those sets of dinosaurs, I had a pretty decent interception time. But as soon as I threw in the red cape strategy, I immediately saved 30 seconds. So just that little wave right there, that procession of using firecrackers saves you 30 seconds just by having the red cape. It's very, very powerful. And the same will apply to the boss that we're going to be facing upcoming as well. So here's the boss of the wave. I'm gonna hope that he doesn't run away from me.
Hopefully he notices you.
Yeah, hopefully he notices me.
Please, senpai. Okay, just a reminder, do not skip the cutscene.
Yeah, okay.
So the cutscene after this, we have no clue why it happens, but if you skip the cutscene, it will stop
dead.
off the game.
350 health left?
He's dead.
Alright, there we go.
Yeah,
Do
no
not skip
skipping.
the cutscene. Do
No
not skip.
skipping after.
Excuse me, what should I not do? Okay.
I believe they said don't skip the cutscene.
There
Okay.
you go.
Okay. So this is my new ultimate strat for not skipping the cutscene. Just one-hander and just smash X. So I have a very bad habit of just pushing the start button and just letting that cutscene rip. So we're gonna do this to clear the results screen and not skip the cutscene.
Yes, great job.
We still have no idea why it happens, but
Nope.
that's why we just need to do it.
All right. So
We can fast forward.
yay, avocado is fallen. Woohoo! Celebration time. Yay! All right, we're done.
Okay.
So now after the loading, now we can skip
we
this
can skip it,
cutscene.
even though there is nobody there and you're
All right, so now we are on the way to basically like our second victory lap. So I like to refer to whenever we descend Gendarm as kind of our victory lap. Not only is the music like really good, but the two times we descend Gendarm are the two times that we've cleared like the riskiest and the most dangerous parts of the run. So the first time you descend here, you've cleared suppression and Pious Burn, the two biggest RNG time losses in the speedrun. Collectively between those two splits, you can just see yourself losing up to 2 minutes, which is the biggest time loss that you see in like a 5 to 10 minute section of the game. Now here is after you've cleared Interception 60 and not skipped the cutscene, most importantly, so you just get the victory lap because you did not skip the cutscene.
I've probably lost at least like 5 or 6 to forgetting that.
Yeah, I think, okay, so we've
I'm
all...
terrible at remembering that.
So things that we've all done, like so, in order to actually become an E-stage speedrunner, there are some things that you must do. One, when you are fishing in town for the tutorial, you must early jerk the line and have to refish, which loses 25 seconds. The second thing you must do is skip Interception 60 cutscene at least once in your life. And the third thing you must do is die to the walruses in Interception 29. And then you have become officially an E-stage speedrunner.
Well, while you're taking your victory lap, could I go ahead and catch up on a few donations here?
Sure.
Awesome. I got a $100 anonymous donation. Just says, I don't speak English, but the playthrough of this is so fun. Thank you for taking all of my time. We got a $5 donation from Anonymous. Just recently finished the game with 40 hours of gameplay. Seeing the speedrun really blows my mind. Not like this. $20 donation from Dabbing Luigi. Good luck on the run, A5. Dab.
Thanks,
I
Ozzy.
kind of dabbed, but you didn't see me do it. Rooting for you, baby.
Will anyone, destroy me after this run if I actually dab on stream right now for my good friend Ozzy?
Maybe you could have a few people give a couple donations to talk you into it.
All right. Hey, Ozzy.
Hey, Ozzy, you heard that. We got a $30 anonymous donation. I have a shout out to someone watching watching. He supports or mods plenty of chats of the runners. Happy Gamer Harrelson is a great friend, person, support, and mod. He is there whenever you need him and is always ready to meme it up. If you don't know him, you should. Show him some love. We appreciate you, HDH. Thanks for all you do. And a $10 anonymous donation that says, as someone who suffers from depression and anxiety, seeing this marathon really hits close to home. Thanks to all of the runners and people behind the scenes who put this together. Thank you very much, and I hope we can do be able to help you out a little bit, and maybe have some fun while we're at it.
Okay, so here we're setting up the boss glitch again to make it think we're in the boss again. So we're approaching a boss that you're supposed to only do as Adol, and there's some whole string of cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty long, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fight it with the whole party because, you know, that's what we do around here.
Because Adol is very weak right now.
Yeah.
By the way, that's the door that we had to open. Otherwise, the run would be over right there. So we cannot get through that door without Nana's help. And I'm actually still intrigued by the fact that using the instant state actually does overwrite the boss fight with the full party and not actually just goes in with a doll. It's very interesting, but we are not going to complain.
So yeah, this boss normally you would be with that all, and you're supposed to fight just him and you, and that's it. You don't know where the other characters are at the time, so it's just you guys. But
The AI is pretty special here.
yeah,
Sometimes they'll just try and run towards the boss like that.
Yeah.
They won't actually attack it.
You go, Laxia. You go, girl.
But they're not supposed to be here right now.
All right, so I'm standing on this fire intentionally because I want to get burned so that I can lose health so that a red cape can kick in a little bit sooner. You also see that I'm using burst shot whenever he's doing that big old stomp attack. That allows me to take damage without getting knocked into the air. Like, I want the damage, but I don't want the time loss of getting thrown into the air. So we kind of take that middle ground of just using a burst shot. And that also kind of applies to taking advantage of SP taking, as mentioned before. So we're pretty much as fatal as we want to go at this point. Any more damage would actually be lethal. So I'm going to try and just kind of hold my ground here.
And I believe you have still like one revive item or so?
I have 2 mangoes
He has two
and
mangoes and one
more,
cherry.
right?
So yeah, he's got plenty.
Yeah, I'll be fine. And I got 1 potion as well.
Not his first. But he should be perfectly fine.
So there's one attack that this guy can do that wastes a lot of time. I just call it Meteor Cycle. He'll just start summoning a bunch of meteors, and the main problem with this is that he raises his head up in the air to do it, and his head is the only weak point. So if he decides to do Meteor Cycle, we're kind of forced to just wait it out. It's not actually very scary in terms of surviving it. Once you get the first flash start off, it's just very simple to survive. But it's just a huge time loss because we do not have the ability to do good damage to him for like a good 10-15 second window. It's actually, it just feels really bad when it happens. It's not, that's the worst time loss that you can get, like compared to early kill Diasper or the boss running in suppression. But it's still like, when you're this far into the run and you're on the chase and you lose 15 to 20 seconds just to meteors, it's just kind of like a really like kind of feeling. It's not a deal breaker, but you know, have definitely lost PBs to getting Meteor Cycle, but he didn't, so we're clean and we're in. No deaths. That was actually a relatively good fight, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Alright, so I do believe we're approaching the most busted aspect of this speedrun. Get your Pog champs ready.
I'm excited.
You should be.
Can't you
So
hear
the
my
game's still-
excitement?
The game still thinks you're supposed to be only as Adol, and the cutscene just has Adol there.
Alright, so the end of Laerithus triggers us into the next, you know, proper story progression. So, some of the things we skip in this game, but there are some things that we can't. I already mentioned before the interceptions, but Laerithus as well. Even if we were to ever find a way to skip Laerithus' boss fight entirely, we cannot because the game just will not have the correct flag set for us to finish the game. So the route has been optimized basically ever since, what is it, September that this game came out? So we've been optimizing it pretty much to the week before RPG Limit Break, and we're still finding like
small.
Yeah, just like little internalized time saves here and there. Just like, oh, reorder this, or like it wasn't until last week that Mr. Borge came up with the idea. Mr. Borge, by the way, is the world record holder of this category. I will talk more about him at the end. I lost my train of thought there a little bit.
Something
talking-
about a week ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was only a week ago where we learned that we should actually be burning ourselves in Laerithis to get the red cape going earlier. As soon as I adopted that strategy, it became like a 10-second time save. Now, that strategy has a little bit of RNG involved because it depends on good positioning. The boss has to move to a position where you're actually in a spot where you can get burned and deal damage. You don't want to just stand there and bathe in a lava sauna just to get the burn. You want to actually still be attacking. So it might take a little bit of time for Laerithis to get in the position you need.
Forbidden Valley fences up ahead. Please, let me make it in time.
Let's see. High Spirits, you got anything?
Oh, I think I could entertain you for a minute here. How
Sure.
about that? How about a $10 donation from Dylan R? Says, I love Ys 8, but something about it has been reminding me of another game. The blue-haired character constantly rolling around at the speed of sound really looks like they have places to go.
Gotta follow that rainbow.
A $20 anonymous donation. So excited to see one of my favorite recent games being ran. Best of luck After5. Would love to try this run. Love to all of the streams and dreams guys watching. And I would like to just take a moment to thank some other people who have made this event possible. It takes a huge community to put this together and a lot of people to help out, including some of our foreign language restreams. Yes, this is not just in English. There is a French restream currently at twitch.tv/French restream, and a Japanese stream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. So there's plenty of opportunities to watch RPG Limit Break.
Oh, we could have done French text.
We could. All right, so we are reaching the breaking point basically. So this is the split where things are just going to kind of break wide open. We are in like the final section of the final chapter, but it's normally like this whole big roundabout everything. We're kind of going to clear it in about 6 or 7 minutes.
Which would normally probably take about a good, 2 hours casually.
Yeah. So if you remember our good friend, the Eternian time travel machine, we are going to go and have a revisit here. We need to connect Donna from the past to the future once more so we can actually have her approach the fight. The final boss fight only takes place in the future/present, so we cannot use Donna until we do this. And now we are, we've set the first stone for getting everything set up for the final boss fight. I'm going to try and go as quickly as possible here to trigger an autosave at the correct time. So I'm going to try, just going to try and move fast. Colin, you want to carry on the commentary?
Sure thing. So for this, we're basically going to set up a glitch. You'll see the effects of it once we do it. But here we're going to be getting multiple Donnas in this section.
All right, so I'm just going to walk you guys through this very slowly, all right? So I'm going to start by loading that autosave that I just got. So we are loading an autosave while we are as Gradica Donna in the future. And so we're going to talk to this crystal, and we're going to go from Donna future to Donna past. And now we're going to go from Donna past back to Donna future. And now we have successfully cloned Donna. So
and we actually did 2 glitches at the same time.
Go ahead and explain them, please.
Basically, this game thinks that when you go to the past, it only records who you have in the party before you go to the past. So when you go to the past with the future or the past Donna in the future, it just basically places the other Donnas you have in the party into the adult party configuration, which basically allows you to have multiple Donnas. But we also did a separate glitch where he went to the save point as Gradica. Basically, what he did was by loading that autosave, we have no clue why this happens right now. but right now he has 5 weapons equipped.
I'm gonna interrupt you really quick. Normally you have to go around in a big circle and kill all the bosses.
You got like 4 dungeon type things,
Yeah,
4
the-
bosses.
Yeah,
The bridge is just there, they just don't tell you, so you can just go over.
Yeah, you're supposed to revisit all the bosses and you're supposed to fight them so you can be pretty much up to level when you fight this boss, but we just go where the walkway is already and just help ourselves there.
By the way, I'm walking on the same ground that the boss is placed on and just whoop. Alright, I just want to show you guys, just because, you know, well, let me show you guys the effect of the trick. We now have a weapon equipped to every slot of our body, so if you would like to imagine what it's like to carry 10 swords at the same time, go ahead.
And so like that weapon that we got, the upgrade, that 50 strength changed from 50 to 250. Which is a lot. So if you didn't do that weapon glitch, you'd have about 300 or so attack. We have 900 now.
Yep, exactly 987. That's the number you want to see if you want to do a stat check. So this fight is incredibly dangerous.
Because
I can't tell you how many runs I've thrown to the final boss. So I'm going to try and kind of focus. You guys want to go ahead and talk about the cycles and talk about the optimal strategies for handling this guy?
So normally this boss you're supposed to have the whole party and not double Donna, and you're supposed to have everybody to fight him, but we're just going to use 2 Donnas. And there will be 3 phases to this boss, which this one, I think, in my opinion, being easy.
It's definitely the
There's
easiest,
2 tentacles and then 4 tentacles, and it's pretty easy.
They can still mess you up.
Yeah, it can still be pretty brutal, but as long as you're flash guarding, a lot of it's pretty simple and straightforward on this one.
You never want to get hit while not using the skills.
Now, this is one of the sections where SD tanking is like actually mandatory. I'm getting beat up a lot right
So
now.
yeah, those do like 1,000 if you're not if you're not using that skill.
Like 685, it still hits
It's
a lot.
It's a lot more than 80.
Yeah. So it's kind of our only form of survivability here, SD tanking, that is.
So as soon as we finish this, we'll go ahead and we'll go to the second phase of him, which is, I think, it's pretty difficult to.
I'd say it's the most difficult one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of the run under phase right here.
So he's gonna put out all these little crystals, and we gotta go and smash them, just because, you know, well, let's smash some crystals. They do shoot things, and they are kind of just random with what they do. So
even though we have SP tanking available to us, I still like to jump over the projectiles that these guys produce. The projectiles, every time they collide with you, they kind of give you like a 2 to 3 frame hiccup. So I don't want those hiccup frames. I just want fewer damage. So I try and stay above the line of fire, just so I can save a little bit of time. This is actually rare, but it's very good. It gives me some free flash guards. I'm gonna try and carry that over to this one and try and kill it in a little shorter than normal. Good, very good.
So in this fight, we have the 5 weapons. That also means that we unequipped the actual armor that we were wearing. So I believe we had like 200-ish defense, but now we only have like 100.
Yeah, whatever
So
the
we
base
take a
stat
lot of
defense
damage.
is the defense that we have. Hello, flash move.
Now we just gotta wait for the main crystal to come
Yep,
out.
so now here's the big crystal. This is kind of scary. It's got some very powerful attack patterns. Just want to try and control the timing of your skills to kind of match the timing of the boss's attacks. Like, it kind of does look like I'm just spamming my skill, which sometimes I just am. But there are times where you have to anticipate that the boss is about to do something else. Like, kind of just read the boss and anticipate when you should be using your skills based on the length of the animation and what you anticipate the boss will follow up with next. It's a little bit of a mind game, but it's a fairly consistent mind game, so there's pretty relatively consistent execution going on here.
I feel like this phase has like the hardest moves to
It
deal
does.
with.
Yeah.
And you probably noticed it's probably pretty dark. That's because it got hit with like some darkness. So I mean, it takes a long time for that to go away, unless you have like the antidote for it. But it doesn't really affect you other than that. It just
You can still see where
yeah,
they're
you
at.
can still see.
Yeah.
It just limits your vision in a way.
The attacks in general in this phase are just incredibly hard to time the dodging.
Like
a lot of
these
the reads
spears.
are, yeah,
My depth perception is terrible at seeing where those are.
same.
And so now we're gonna move up to the third phase, and the third phase is also a huge run killer.
Oh, excuse me, I should skip the cutscene.
Nah.
Sorry.
That's actually one of the only cutscenes where you can't fast forward nor skip it.
So normally what you're supposed to do with this boss is, since you have 3 people, you're supposed to attack the crystal with each certain person type. So if you have each team member, you change to the crystal's color, and that's normally how you would do this. But, you know, we just used Donna, and that's what we go. So he has like 6 different attacks in this form, going with, he has a low jab, he has a high jab, he has a very rare lightning move that doesn't happen too often. Then he has a meteor attack, and then he has I guess
The party wipe?
The big, yeah.
So here comes the party wipe. This is why we need reviving items.
If you want to do that thing.
So if you miss that flash guard,
just a little show off. You can do this like indefinitely if you want to.
You can kind of like the game. You can make that go a good minute for that entire duration.
I hope I don't get insta karma and die on the second one now.
but that move right there, if you don't flash guard it, you most likely, it won't kill you, but it'll do a lot of damage. And so it's pretty scary during a run.
Alright, something I did when I first broke him before on the red crystal. There's something you can do, I like to call it crit carrying. You can sort of maintain the crit damage even though the invincibility effects of Flash Guard has run off, you can actually maintain the critical damage that you deal with it, and you can just kind of hold that for a little bit longer. So I like to take advantage of that whenever I have to break the crystal. Instead of doing about 500 to 600 per hit, we do about 700 to 800 per hit with Donna's skills. So it's a very, very significant damage boost. So we try and carry the critical damage as far as we can go. And we also try to make sure we never break the crystal until we do have Flash Guard to begin with. So just like this, I'm doing another set of crit carrying. I'm going to do 700 to 800 per hit.
And like, that Flash Guard should have like ended a while ago, but since he's still using skills, it extends it.
Yeah, some skills have easier windows where you can crit carry. Humel's first shot is actually one that can crit carry very easily. It's just not very relevant most of the time. It's very rare for that to become the optimal thing to do. So those meteors coming down, that's like the attack you never want to see. You know, he goes away for a long time, probably about 5 to 10 seconds, so like you just can't touch him at all. He can give you like up to 7 or 8 of those in a single fight. And here comes the second party wipe laser. We can't do anything to break him because he's not in the right crystal color type. So we just try and deal as much damage as possible before he sets off.
If you also notice, Donna has strike damage or whatever. She's supposed to have smash or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, due to the way
the Donna also has a base, like, she has like 300 attack right now, so she didn't get the actual attacks.
Yeah.
Or the actual weapons.
Unfortunately, the weapon duplication does not apply to her as well.
Yeah, so it only do like one. She'll only do like 1 damage, which is no use for us here.
This is the final break. I don't think I'm ready to do a crit carry, so I'm gonna intentionally wait for another. Nope, too late. He's gonna charge the laser. So yeah, he's forcing my hand.
And this should be the end.
It might be. I think I normally get a crit carry here, so this might not be good enough.
No, yeah, you're good.
You should be able to outdamage it.
You're done.
Okay. Time is not yet, by the way. Time is not just yet.
It is coming up though. Hey, you skipped that cutscene.
Sorry.
So now this is the epilogue. You have to talk to a few people and then you leave.
I mean,
so once we try to go outside, we'll warp to another location, and there's 2 cutscenes before time is called.
3?
2 or 3 or something.
Yeah, I'll give time. I'll give time.
But normally this is the part where everybody is supposed to be together and you're getting ready to sail off, and you know there's supposed to be 25-something people here, but we only have the 9, so we'll make do with what we have.
So you got 1, 2. 2,
and then 3. And time?
Time. And that's Ease 8.
That's Ease 8, any percent.
So you got 146.11.
146.11. That's not bad. My goal for this marathon was to get sub 150, so I reached that goal. So let me talk a little bit about the run and give some shout outs. So as I mentioned before, the run began when we saw a Nico video uploaded by Mabo, Japanese runner Mabo.
Shout outs to Mabo.
Shout outs to Mabo. And shout outs to Ravi, by the way, in the East Discord, who shared those videos with us. I believe Mabo's first run was a 214 something. That sort of set the basis for the EC 90%. We sort of used that as the groundworks, and then we continued to refine and improve. Colin has pretty much been like the main, the new strat finder. So if I want to talk about,
I do most of the glitches.
yeah, Colin is the biggest glitch hunter. Like if there's a new strat, Colin knows about it, and then I execute it. And I'm sort of like the polisher. I'm like the shoe polisher, right? So once you get me the shoes, I give them the little polish, right? So I kind of re-optimize the route within the new realms that Colin kind of commits. Yogi has been feverishly trying to push out 100%. That is a huge task.
The madman himself.
The madman. Good luck to you, sir. So as far as current records and times are concerned, the current world record is held by Mr. Borge. He's got 2 world records actually. So on solid state drive, he customized his PS4 to have a solid state. He's got a 138.07, and on the regular default PS4 hardware, he's got a 140.25.
4 seconds.
My current PB on the regular PS4 hardware is a 140.29. I lost the world record to not getting the autosave. So that's the way it goes. But I just do want to say, well, more shoutouts. So originally when I got into this run, I kind of finished, I 100%ed the game, I platinum medaled it, took a deep breath, and I actually reached out to Puexel. I tweeted at Puexel, I was like, hey, do you know anybody who is possibly speedrunning E8? And he's like, no, but you can talk to these people, which directed me to Deln. Thank you very much, Deln, for introducing me to the East community. And Ghost King, who is now like pretty much my East homie. Hi, Ghost King. So they've just been very, very supportive people.
Shoutouts to Tsukibaka.
And Tsukibaka for doing the wolf strats for us. Always a nice guy. Always like seeing Tsukibaka around. And just trying to close this off for good. Anyone interested in learning any percent, we have a Discord for it. I have made a tutorial that's on speedrun.com. It has the fully updated every strat explained to every depth that you could possibly demand.
I believe there's links to the Ease Speedrun Discord on any of the speedrun.com
Yeah, there is.
forums.
All the
Yes.
links.
Yep.
Yes.
I think Tsukibaka added them to all of them.
Okay. So anyone interested in learning, we are here. We are available. Join us. We're just a cheeky little bunch. We're not too competitive. We're not like, oh, you're world record holders. And yeah. So.
Well, we'll definitely help you out.
Yep.
Yep. So that's everything for me. Thank you, RPG Limit Break, for having me here. My first marathon run. I'm really glad to be here. Really glad to put this through. And I hope we have a good rest of the marathon, right? Yeah. Right. So.
Get ready for Dear Automata?
Yep. Get ready for the next one, guys. All right. Thanks again, everyone.